Communications PowerPoint. By Karina Grohl. Kelly Jennings. Communications. Introduction and Notes. Today's lecture is all the things we've learned in communications skills. This presentation will have 3 or more topics on what we have learned in this subject, and how we can apply them to your life. Our 3 or more topics we will discuss today in this presentation is filling out a form, internet safety, dining etiquette, emotions, nonverbal communication, kindness, asking for help, etc. etc. Internet safety. My first topic is about internet safety. Please listen carefully to this, as it may prevent you from getting danger online and keep you safe and clear of trouble. I is like this example, like a fish tank, when fish are swimming around in the tank, and all of a sudden, a big shark is headed your way. It's like this on the internet. For example, you are talking to your friend and all of a sudden, a hacker comes onto your Facebook page and deletes all your posts. In this subject, we've learned that cyberbullying online is not safe. Don't ever talk to people you don't know. Not everyone online is what they say. We also learned that we have to stay safe on social media, I think. This is what we learned. Apply internet safety to our everyday lives. For example, if we see a message on Facebook for example, and the message says this, "Hello there Karina. I am another blind person that lives in your area. I want to hang out with you. My name is Ali, and I want to hang out with you. How does tomorrow work?" But questions get in your mind? What if that person really is a stranger from far away? What if this person is a bad guy that wants to break into my house / you see, even though this person says she is a blind person, this mystery person may be someone from far away, maybe even a hacker who just wants to hack your Facebook page. Do not answer that person's message. So you take it down and keep typing to your friend Chris. Do not ever post personal information online. Never ever ever do that. If you tell people online, they might find out your identity. So keep safe on the internet, and keep these sharks away from the happy fish swimming in the fish tank. Forms and personal information. Our next topic is about forms. Forms are mainly things you are filling out to get into something, for example, a college course, or getting into a school or sport colleague. It might ask you for your marital status, first and last name, medical information, and more. Some forms online though, sometimes require you to be a certain age in order to enter this course or etc. For example, you are signing up for Apple's health organ donor service, and you enter in the date of birth field, 11-13. If you hit continue, it will say this message that you are under 18, required age, to enter the organ donor service. How to apply filling out forms to your everyday life. Here's an example of applying forms to your life. You are wanting to work in the office as a secretary for example. No, another example. You are signing for an online course lesson on a college website. You are sitting at your desk on your computer at home. Let's say you are signing for an online course on this website. You have to fill out your form, such as date of birth, etc. That might be filling out a form. Now, let's say that you are waiting for an appointment at a pediatrics office. The receptionist hands you a form. It might ask you for DOB, which is your date of birth, your medical information like your allergies and reactions. Keep in mind of all these things, as you may have to know all of these stuff if you are required to fill out any of the forms. Another scenario is this: you are on your phone filling out your medical ID info and you are filling out your date of birth. This is filling out a form. Dining etiquette. Now here's an important lecture of this slide and the next slide. It is called dining etiquette. For those of you that don't know, etiquette is like polite behavior. So let's start by telling you what we have learned so far. 1. Dining etiquette should be used no matter where you are. 2. Use polite words such as thank you, please, no thank you, etc. etc. 4. Chew with your mouth closed. 5. Say excuse me after you burp. 6. Never make any disgusting slurping noises, as they might disturb others. How to apply dining etiquette to your life. Let's say this example. You are at a restaurant with your boyfriend. You are sitting up straight as you should be. Your waiter arrives and asks for your drinks order. You ask for a Sprite in a polite way. You say, "May I please have a Sprite?" Your boyfriend is impressed with your politeness. Now, let's do this in the wrong way. You ask for a Sprite in a rude way. Like this, for example, "Give me a Sprite." Once you get your Sprite, you make disgusting slurping noises. Your boyfriend does not like it, and so does other people around you. That's the thing. Use dining etiquette. Another example is, you are at home with your family and friends having a formal dinner party, and you burped. You don't say excuse me. The others are not happy with this type of behavior. Let's do it in the right way. I mentioned that you are at the formal dinner party. You burp and say excuse me in a polite way. So, please use dining etiquette. Nonverbal communication. Our next lecture is about nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is saying something but without audible words or sounds. For example, if someone asks you, "Did you do that communications PowerPoint last night?" Then that person nods his or her head. That is one example of nonverbal communication. Some things we can use as nonverbal communication can include nodding, as we mentioned, waving your arms when you are excited, and clapping your hands whenever you are happy. Applying nonverbal communication to your life. This is how you can apply non-equals verbal communications. When someone tells you that you are invited to a party, you can wave your hands in the air, or you may look excited. Asking for help. Welcome to the next lecture of our communications evaluation, where we discuss what we have learned. Our next subject in communications subject is about asking for help. We can ask for help for the following scenarios. If we are having a hard time figuring out this math problem, if we forgot our password on the computer system, we cannot find out how to unmute the TV, etc., etc. Asking for help is very important sometimes. But sometimes, people want to be too much helpful. This annoys many people. This next slide will describe some scenarios of when to ask for help. Applying asking for help to your everyday life. Let's say that you are trying to log on to your computer system at work or school, or anywhere. You are trying to figure out your password, but just cannot figure out the password. It has been an extremely long time since you have been on the computer. You get frustrated since you forgot your password, so you ask someone to whisper your password. Let's think of another example. You are working on an soul practice test on Algebra 2. You are not figuring out the question 22. You ask your teacher if you could stay for a few for review. Emotions. Emotions are feelings that people like you can feel in a situation. For example, if someone broke your iPhone 7 Plus, you might feel sad or angry. If someone told you we are having a party, you might feel excited or happy. Some other emotions may include scared, fear, which is the same, calm, etc. Applying emotions to your life. This is how I could apply this subject into my life. If I was told that I had to clean up my room, I would feel rage and angry. If I was asked what happened to my right eye because of my vision loss, I would feel mildly irritated because I do not like being asked that question. If I accidentally dropped my phone and it broke, I would feel scared because getting it fixed is very expensive. If I was told that I lost the Braille Readers Are Leaders contest, I would feel sad, because I hoped I would win and I was looking forward to it. If there was a situation, for example, if we have to discuss the prom in a Leo meeting, I would feel stressed. If I got a Samsung phone for my end of school grades and they were good, I would feel happy. Kindness. Kindness is important to our life because of the following reasons. Being helpful. being happy and etc. to show that you care about the situation, etc. How to apply kindness. If I saw somebody falling down after skating on the ice rink, I would help. Bullying. Our next lecture is all about bullying, and it is not allowed at any school. Bullying is not right, and it hurts. Some kids bully almost every day, and sometimes it can involve harming personal property. Some types of bullying may include calling people and kids names, threatening somebody else, physical harm and emotional harm, etc. etc. How to apply bullying in your life and how to prevent this from happening to you. One scenario of bullying is when you are calling people or called names, or causing emotional harm to others. Compromise. In this next lecture of this presentation, we will discuss about making a compromise. Compromising is sort of like promising something. For example, you make a compromise to have both your friends have both apple and strawberry jelly for their sandwich. Now, in the list below, there is a list of words we can use in a compromise. We could, for example, we could put your balance together with my stars. Why don't we, for example, why don't we have some people wear prom dresses for the girls, and the boys could wear pretty ties? How about we, for example, how about we have dance party be our theme for this year's prom party? Here's an idea. We could have some chicken salad sandwiches for one of our prom foods. How about this? We can have both middle and high school go to our prom this year. And, why don't we have unicorn decorations for the prom? Compromising in real life. You are in a student council meeting with your club members. You are trying to make a decision on the prom party with your members of the student council. They are trying to make a budget of how much money is for the food and the prom itself. However, nobody has decided. One of the representatives announces, "Why don't we have $5 for the prom itself, and we could be on a budget of $20 for food." Another scenario of compromising is this. You are having a club meeting with your team members. You are trying to discuss of how much money they have to have when they sell a lemonade stand. However, none of your team members are speaking and no decision has been made. So what can they do? Luckily, you make a compromise to have them pay 25 cents for the lemonade stand. Peer pressuring. Peer pressuring is the next to last topic of this presentation, because this presentation already has too many slides. Things to keep in mind while listening or looking at the slide is how can peer pressuring affect others? Why do people in general peer pressure? Well, peer pressuring is like encouragement sometimes. There is positive peer pressure. For example, you should try WWRC. It's a great sports place where you can do bowling and everything. And there is negative peer pressuring, for example this. Oh, you should lay down on the road when a car is coming. It will be great and funny. We should never say those negative things like laying over a train track when a train is on its way to that track, or giving drugs, etc. etc. We may like it, or hate it. Positive peer pressuring, though, on the other hand, is like encouragement. For example, you should try tiramisu. It's an Italian cake, and it is so good. Try it. How to apply peer pressuring to your life. For this slide of the presentation, we will focus on only the positive side. You are sitting with your friend in the cafeteria. You are peer pressuring her to try out Camp Easter seals, and she says she doesn't want to go. How could you not like it if you haven't tried it yet? But your friend still refuses. You persuade and tell her what is really fun, but your friend refused and walks away from you to another table. That's positive peer pressuring. Self-advocacy. This is the last topic before the end of the presentation. It is called self-advocacy. This presentation is coming to an end pretty soon, because this already has too many slides. As you can see, we will talk about self-advocacy because it is really important to do this in our lives. Let's get started. In this subject, Self-advocacy means to us to speak up for yourself and speak to your own rights. We use self-advocacy when we need help with math class, when something is broken, and more. We may also know that self-advocacy is like the other topic we discussed, asking for help. Look back for reference. Applying self-advocacy to your life. Here is a little story of how I used self-advocacy in my life. It was one Thursday night at the dorm. I was on a phone call. I asked my mom if I could learn how to use the Android phone since I have used the iPhone for over 3 years. I had a conversation about that last weekend, and my mom called my uncle Ivan. And I asked him to come over and bring an old Android phone for me to practice. I even told my mom it had a screen reader. Anyways, so my uncle said yes and he will be coming in June. So, he said that when he comes in June, he will bring an old phone of the Android phone. So, I advocated for myself. Conclusion. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. This presentation is an evaluation for the end of the year communications class project. You have learned. Self-advocacy means to speak up for yourself. Pure pressuring can be positive or negative. Kindness is important to all of us. Thanks for joining me in the presentation. It has been a great year, and great topics. You also learned that dining etiquette should be used no matter where you are. Thanks for taking the time to look at this PowerPoint. What you have learned. During the presentation, you have learned the following. Dining etiquette should be used no matter where you are. Self-advocacy means to speak up for yourself. Asking for help is like self-advocacy. Remember that some online stuff may ask for your personal information. Personal information should never ever be mentioned online. Bullying is never allowed at any school.